The autumn wind swept through downtown Portland as Marcus Fleming guided his wheelchair along the riverside path, his service dog Luna trotting faithfully beside him. The Belgian Malinois wore her vest proudly, her alert eyes scanning their surroundings as they made their evening rounds through Waterfront Park. Marcus had adopted Luna 2 years ago, after his injury during a construction accident left him paralyzed from the waist down. She wasn't just a companion, she was his lifeline, trained to retrieve dropped items, open doors, and alert others if he needed help. The sun hung low over the Willamette River, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. Marcus breathed in the crisp air, grateful for these moments of peace. Luna's tail wagged as she paused to sniff a cluster of autumn leaves, and Marcus smiled, running his hand along her neck. "Good girl," he murmured. "Just a little further, then we'll head home for dinner." As they rounded a bend near the amphitheater, Marcus noticed a figure leaning against a concrete pillar. The man was in his early 30s, disheveled, with an unkempt beard and a leather jacket that had seen better days. His eyes were bloodshot, and he held a half-empty bottle wrapped in brown paper. As Marcus approached, the man straightened, his gaze hardening. Well, the man slurred, stepping into the path. "Look what we got here. Another one of you people taking up space." Marcus's stomach tightened, but he kept his voice calm. "Just passing through. Have a good evening." The man laughed bitterly, blocking the wheelchair's path. "Passing through? This used to be my spot. Used to sleep right over there before they cleared us out. Said they were improving the park." "For who?" "For people like you, rolling around like you own the place." Luna growled softly, positioning herself between Marcus and the stranger. Marcus's hand found her collar, steadying both himself and the dog. "I don't want any trouble," Marcus said firmly. "Please move aside." "Trouble?" The man's voice rose, anger bleeding through his words. "You want to talk about trouble? I lost everything. My job at the docks, my apartment, my girl, all because they decided to gentrify this whole area. Rent tripled. And now I see people like you," he gestured dismissively at Marcus's wheelchair, "getting all the sympathy, all the help, while people like me rot." "I'm sorry you're struggling," Marcus replied, his jaw tight. "But I didn't cause your problems. Now please, let us pass." The man's face twisted with contempt. "Sorry? You're not sorry. None of you are. You just roll through life expecting everyone to make way." His eyes dropped to Luna, who stood rigid, her hackles rising. "And this mutt probably cost more than I make in a year. Service dog, right? Bet you get to take her everywhere, special treatment, while I can't even keep a roof over my head." Marcus's pulse quickened. "Her name is Luna, and she's working." Don't what?" The man stepped closer, his breath reeking of alcohol. "Don't talk to your precious dog? Maybe someone needs to teach both of you a lesson about respect." Luna barked sharply, a warning that echoed across the empty park. Marcus reached for his phone, but the man was faster, snatching it from his hand. "Give that back," Marcus demanded, his voice steel. "Or what?" the man sneered, pocketing the phone. "You gonna chase me?" He laughed cruelly at his own joke. Marcus's mind raced. Without his phone, he couldn't call for help, and the park had emptied as evening fell. He was alone with Luna, facing a man whose rage seemed to grow with every passing second. "That's theft," Marcus said evenly. "You don't want to make this worse." "Worse?" The man crouched down. "I level with Marcus now. I'll tell you what's worse. Watching people like you get everything handed to them while I sleep in a shelter. Maybe I'll take more than your phone. That chair looks expensive. How much would it fetch?" Luna lunged forward, barking furiously, and the man stumbled backward. But his shock quickly turned to rage. "That dog just tried to bite me," he shouted. "Vicious animal. Needs to be put down." "She's protecting me," Marcus shot back. "You threatened us first." The man's face flushed red. "I'll show you a threat." Before Marcus could react, the man swung his bottle, aiming for Luna. The dog dodged, but the man's boot connected with her side, sending her sprawling across the pavement with a pained yelp. "Luna." Marcus's voice cracked as he wheeled forward, placing himself between his dog and her attacker. Luna struggled to her feet, limping badly, her breathing labored. "Get away from her." Marcus roared, his hands gripping the wheels of his chair, ready to ram the man if necessary. The stranger laughed darkly. "What are you gonna do? You can't even stand up." But Marcus had already grabbed the emergency whistle attached to his keychain, blowing it with all the force his lungs could muster. The sharp, piercing sound cut through the air, startling the man. "Security patrols this area," Marcus lied, blowing the whistle again. "They'll be here any second." The man hesitated, his eyes darting around the park. In the distance, the sound of voices carried on the wind, joggers, perhaps, or other park visitors. His bravado cracked, and he spat on the ground near Marcus's wheel. "You're not worth it," he muttered, turning on his heel. "Enjoy your dog while you can." He disappeared into the shadows beneath the bridge, leaving Marcus alone with Luna, who whimpered softly as she tried to stay on her feet. Marcus's hand shook as he wheeled over to her, his heart breaking at the sight of her pain. "It's okay, girl. I've got you. We're going to get help." He looked around frantically, spotting a young couple walking their own dog about 50 yards away. "Help," he called out, waving his arms. "Please. I need help." The couple rushed over, their faces etched with concern. The woman, a nurse named Claire, immediately knelt beside Luna while her partner, David, called 911. "What happened?" Claire asked, her hands gentle as she examined Luna's side. "A man attacked us," Marcus said, his voice trembling. "He kicked her. She's hurt badly." Claire's expression darkened. "She's breathing okay, but she might have broken ribs. We need to get her to an emergency vet." David spoke rapidly into his phone, relaying their location to the dispatcher. Within minutes, the sound of sirens filled the air. 2 police officers arrived first, followed closely by an animal control van equipped for emergency transport. Marcus explained everything: the confrontation, the theft, the attack on Luna. One officer took notes while the other radioed for additional units to search for the suspect. "Can you describe him?" the officer asked. Marcus nodded, his jaw tight with anger. "White male, early 30s, brown beard, greasy hair, leather jacket, jeans. He had a bottle of alcohol and smelled like he'd been drinking all day. He mentioned sleeping near the amphitheater before being cleared out." The officer's eyes narrowed. "We know who that might be. Guy named Travis Boone. He's been causing trouble around here for weeks, public intoxication, harassment. This escalates things significantly." An animal medic carefully lifted Luna onto a stretcher, and Marcus wheeled alongside them to the van. "I'm coming with her," he said, his tone leaving no room for argument. The medic nodded. "Of course. We're taking her to Northwest Emergency Veterinary Hospital. She's in good hands." As the van pulled away, Marcus looked back at the officers. "Find him," he said, his voice hard. "He can't get away with this." "We will," the officer assured him. "We'll be in touch." The emergency veterinary hospital was a blur of fluorescent lights and antiseptic smells. Marcus waited in the lobby, his hands gripping the arms of his wheelchair as a veterinarian named Dr. Patel emerged from the back. "Mr. Fleming," she said gently. "Luna's stable. She has 2 cracked ribs and severe bruising, but no internal bleeding. We've given her pain medication and wrapped her chest. She'll need rest and limited movement for the next few weeks, but she should make a full recovery." Marcus's eyes closed, relief washing over him. "Thank you. Can I see her?" "Of course. Follow me." Luna lay on a padded mat in a recovery room, her chest wrapped in white bandages. When she saw Marcus, her tail thumped weakly against the floor. "Hey, girl," Marcus whispered, wheeling close and stroking her head. "You're so brave. So brave." Dr. Patel smiled. "She's a fighter. You both are." As Marcus sat with Luna, his phone, recovered by police from Travis Boone's abandoned sleeping bag, buzzed with a text from his younger sister, Keisha. "Heard what happened. Are you okay? Do you need me?" Marcus typed back, "Luna's hurt but stable. I'm okay. Police are looking for the guy." Keisha's reply came instantly, "I'm coming over. And I'm bringing someone who can help." 2 hours later, Keisha arrived at Marcus's apartment with a tall, sharp-eyed woman in her late 40s. The woman wore a blazer and carried a leather briefcase, her demeanor both professional and warm. "Marcus, this is Angela Torres," Keisha said. "She's a criminal attorney and an old friend from law school. I told her what happened." Angela extended her hand, which Marcus shook firmly. "I'm so sorry about what you and Luna went through," she said. "Keisha filled me in, and I want to help. This isn't just assault, it's a disability rights violation and animal cruelty. Travis Boone needs to answer for this." Marcus nodded, his jaw set. "I want him prosecuted to the fullest extent. He hurt Luna, and he did it because he thought I was an easy target." Angela pulled out a notepad. "Tell me everything, from the beginning." Over the next week, Angela worked tirelessly to build the case. She coordinated with the police, who had arrested Travis Boone 2 days after the attack at a homeless encampment near the river. He'd been drunk and belligerent, still carrying Marcus's phone. Angela also reached out to the park witnesses. Claire and David provided statements, and security footage from a nearby building captured parts of the confrontation. But Marcus knew the real battle would be in the courtroom. Travis's public defender, a young attorney named Greg Lawson, was already crafting a defense that painted his client as a victim of circumstance, a homeless man driven to desperation by systemic failures. "They're going to try to make the jury sympathize with him," Angela warned during a strategy session at her office. "We need to stay focused on the facts. He assaulted you, stole from you, and brutally injured Luna. His circumstances don't excuse his actions." Marcus nodded. "I understand. But I also know what it's like to struggle. My accident changed everything for me. I lost my job, my independence, at least for a while. But I didn't take it out on innocent people." Angela's expression softened. "That's exactly the kind of perspective the jury needs to hear. Your strength, your resilience, it contrasts sharply with his choices." The trial began on a gray November morning. The courtroom was packed, with disability rights advocates filling the gallery alongside local news reporters. Marcus wheeled to the plaintiff's table, Luna's service vest draped over his lap as a reminder of what they were fighting for. Angela's opening statement was powerful and precise. She outlined Travis's unprovoked attack, the theft, and the deliberate cruelty toward Luna. She emphasized that this wasn't about homelessness or hardship, it was about accountability. "Travis Boone made a choice," Angela said, her voice ringing through the courtroom. "He chose to target Marcus Fleming because he thought he could. He chose to hurt an innocent animal out of spite. And he chose to flee rather than face the consequences. This trial is about ensuring he doesn't get to make those choices without answering for them." When Marcus took the stand, he spoke clearly and calmly, recounting every detail of that evening. He described Luna's training, her role in his daily life, and the terror he'd felt watching her get hurt. "She's not just a dog," Marcus said, his voice steady. "She's my partner, my protector, my family. Travis Boone tried to take that away from me, and he almost succeeded." Greg Lawson's cross-examination tried to paint Marcus as privileged, suggesting that his disability benefits and community support made him less sympathetic. But Marcus didn't waver. "I worked construction for 15 years before my accident," Marcus said. "I paid into the system, and yes, I receive support now. But that doesn't give anyone the right to assault me or hurt Luna." The jury's expressions were unreadable, but Marcus felt a quiet confidence as he returned to his seat. Travis took the stand in his own defense, and his testimony was a disaster. He was combative, blaming everyone but himself, society, the city, Marcus for flaunting his resources. "I was angry," Travis admitted. "But who wouldn't be? I've got nothing, and he's rolling around with a fancy dog and a phone that probably costs more than I make in a month." Angela's cross-examination was surgical. "So you felt entitled to steal his phone?" No, and when his service dog tried to protect him, you felt entitled to kick her?" Travis's face reddened. "She came at me." "She came at you," Angela repeated slowly, "after you threatened her handler and stole his property. Is that correct?" Travis faltered, and the jury leaned forward, watching his composure crumble. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. When they returned, the verdict was unanimous, guilty on all counts: assault, theft, and aggravated animal cruelty. The judge sentenced Travis to 6 years in prison, with mandatory anger management and substance abuse treatment. He was also ordered to pay restitution for Luna's medical expenses and Marcus's damages. As the gavel fell, Marcus felt a weight lift from his shoulders. It wasn't about revenge, it was about justice, about showing that people like Travis couldn't prey on the vulnerable without consequence. 3 months later, Marcus and Luna returned to Waterfront Park. Luna's ribs had healed completely, and she moved with the same confidence and grace as before. They paused at the spot where the attack had happened, and Marcus placed a hand on her head. "We did it, girl," he said softly. "We got justice." Luna wagged her tail, and together they continued down the path, stronger and more resilient than ever.